that you are both human and divine, and that you deserve to live a better life in Christ right here on earth. Our messages are practical, they are raw, they're fun, and they are focused on real issues as it relates to your spiritual life, health life, your mental life, your financial life, your relationship life, and even your business life and community life. Today, we have another real life application message designed especially for you and your family. Remember, before we get started today, you can learn more about Renew Community Church free life coaching by visiting our website, renewcommunitychurch.org, or you can listen to us every Sunday at 11:45 a.m. each Sunday on YouTube, Renew Community Church live stream, or reach me at 513-884-7832. I want you to join me now for another life-changing message with Charlie Winburn, your life coach, right here in the city of Cincinnati, Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hey, good morning, and welcome to Sunday morning mastermind class and clinic designed with you in mind. Well, guys, get ready. Coach Winburn will be up shortly with another great message for this Sunday. Today's title, one of the topics of today's title is Stop the Violence in Your Life. You got to stop the violence in your life. So get ready. Coach is going to be breaking this thing down, how you can stop the violence in your life. Then he's going to teach you how to stop the violence of your heart, and you're going to find peace. So stop the violence in your heart and find peace. Another topic he's going to be dealing with is stop the violence of your heart so that you can find peace in your heart. And then find peace and stop the war in your brain. I'm going to show you today how you can find peace and stop the war in your brain. Violence, when will you stop it in your life? When will you stop the violence in your life? So get ready. Coach is going to be up shortly addressing some of these topics and also confronting the violence of your heart. How to find peace, confronting the violence of your heart, finding peace. And why are there so many violent people? Did you know that seem like today that we just seen so many violent people? Well, why are they so violent? Why are people so violent now? Could it be related to childhood trauma? Absolutely, it probably is. But Coach is going to break it down and tell you why, and how to address the violence of your heart and find peace. Addressing the violence in your heart and find peace. Stop the violence in your head. You will be able to stop all this stuff that's going on in your head that's distracting you and causing you to do the things that you're doing. Coach Winburn, we're going to break this thing down and show you, learn how to stop the violence in your heart today and find peace. So get ready to find peace today. Get ready to stop all the violence in your mind, in your heart today, and find peace. Coach Winburn will be up shortly. Actually, he's going to be up a little earlier today addressing how to stop the violence in your life and in your heart and in your brain. All right. Again, good morning to you, and welcome to Sunday morning mastermind class and clinic designed with you in mind. It's a clinic because it helps you to relax and to feel good about things, especially about situations that make you unhappy. All right? It also helps you with your unmet needs, your unhealed hurts, and your unresolved issues. It's a good day to be alive, but even better day to live with emotional happiness. And what is emotional happiness? A feeling of joy, content, and happiness. That's all it is. Emotional happiness is a feeling of contentment and satisfaction, joy, peace, and happiness. We need to learn to walk in joy, peace, and happiness every 60 seconds. If you're not walking in joy, peace, and happiness every 60 seconds, then you have an opportunity to reset yourself and learn to walk in joy, peace, and happiness. We would like for you to connect with us today on Facebook and YouTube. We would like for you to, number one, like our message and share today's message. Do you know anyone that needs to stop the violence in their heart and their mind? Do you know anyone like that? Well, today would be a good day to share today's message on learning how to stop the violence in your heart and find peace. Make comments. We would like for you to make comments. The reason why you make comments are important is when you make comments, it challenges and inspires other people to make comments as well. So if you're on YouTube, we would like for you to just subscribe. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Now, let's talk about our mastermind class and clinic and what it is and what it is not. Well, our mastermind class and clinic is built on biblical principles coupled with basic science so that we can live a better and divine life right here on earth. We can live a better and divine life. We don't have to wait later on or the sweet by and by. We can have a better and divine life right here on earth. Now, there's two parts to that statement. The God part of you, which is your divine part, your spirit, which is embedded inside of you. Once you accept Christ, the God part of you is good. That part is taken care of. It's the other side that we struggle with, your humanity. That's the part that needs the work. Your humanity needs the work. So the Mastermind Class and Clinic is all about helping you become a better version of yourself in your humanity. It's all about helping you become a better version of yourself in your humanity. The Mastermind Class and Clinic is for people who love God, but they don't like the traditional church. So Master Your Mind class is not a religious service. It's not a service where you come in and you see the choir singing. It's not a service where you come in and you have the Sunday school class. Our Mastermind Class and Clinic broke away from those traditions a while ago. Master Your Mind Class and Clinic is designed to help people do like our foundational scripture, which is in Romans 12 and verse 2. And we all are familiar with that. And that's it. It says, don't be conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So the renewing of your mind is a process that takes place, and you have an opportunity every 60 seconds to renew your mind. If your mind is not where it should be, then every 60 seconds you got an opportunity to reset. The renewing of the mind is a continuous process. We don't just renew our mind one time, but we need to renew our mind every 60 seconds if we do that, we know that renewing our mind actively involves changing how you think to align with God's word, replacing the negative thoughts with positive faith-based thoughts. All right, so let's talk about our 31-day Focus Life Story Calendar. And with the 31-day Life Story Calendar, what we do with that is we tell one story each day, 3 times a day, up to 60 seconds each day, and we do this for 31 days. And today is April the 12th, and it reads, "It is my divine and human right to walk in the illumination and the kindness of God today." It is your divine and human right to walk in the illumination and the kindness of God today. So today, walk in illumination and the kindness of God. We also like to do the next day, which is the 13th. And it reads, "It is my divine and human right to inspire myself and be kind to self and others today." So it's your divine and human right to inspire yourself. Today, you have a human right to inspire yourself today and be kind to yourself and others today. So don't forget to inspire yourself today, be kind to yourself today, and be kind to others today. Well, the 31-day Focus Life Story Calendar is a calendar that we use every day. So we got every day of the week we have something that we can read that's going to be encouraging and help us to stay positive and stay on the course that we need to be on. You can go to www.60secondstoafocuslife.com. That's 60seconds.com to a focused life to watch 11 of Coach Winburn free videos. So you can go to, again, 60 seconds to a focusedlife.com, and there is 11 free videos there that you can watch and they help you with this process. Learn how to write your own story. You can learn how to write your own story, again, by going to 60 seconds to a focusedlife.com, and you can watch some of the videos, and you can learn how to write your own story. We know it takes approximately 31 days to get rid of the negative vibrations, but in 21 days, you will have created for yourself a positive, life-changing, emotional vibration. And that's what you want to do. You want to change your life to a positive, life-changing, emotional vibration, not negative. You want to make that a positive, life-changing, emotional vibration. All right, it takes 60 seconds for the invisible laws of attraction to fully jumpstart and activate in your life. And that's based on whatever you think about it, and that's either good or bad. So whatever you think about, good or bad, every 60 seconds, the invisible laws is matching what you're thinking. The laws of attraction is always reading, matching your vibrations, your emotions, your feelings, and your energy. It's always doing that. So we remember that the invisible laws of attraction is always matching your mood. So that's why you want to be emotionally happy all the time. You want to be emotionally happy all the time. And that's one of the things that we learned at Renew Community Church, being emotionally happy. If just that's part, just if you can become emotionally happy, you're halfway there. Just becoming emotionally happy, just the way you think about things, and you're halfway there. But remember, the laws of attraction is always, however you're feeling, whatever you're doing, is matching that. So you want to change that negative into a positive. All right. So now let's talk about some of the things that Coach talked about last week. And last week's message was 5 most powerful steps of Christ, and that was known as Easter Sunday. And that we learned that most people consider that like Resurrected Sunday, or they call it that. But we learned there was another step that Christ took. He didn't just stop at resurrection. He went further than resurrection. And I'll talk about that shortly. Coach Winburn talked about the difference last week between a follower of Christ and a Christian. A follower of Christ and a Christian. What is a follower of Christ? A follower of Christ is one who has faith in Jesus Christ, believing in Jesus Christ, the Son of God and Savior. You walk in the principles of Christ. And you walk in the principles of Christ, you're exercising the principles of Christ, which is the repentance, the love, and the obedience to the Word of God. That's what a follower of Christ is. So Coach also talked about what is a Christian. He talked about what is a Christian. Well, a Christian is a people who make things up as they go along. They make things up as they go along. They lack consistency and moral framework. They create their own philosophy and ideology of life. They selectively accept parts of the Bible that they believe. Some show affectionate when convenient and express anger when they get upset. You know any Christians like that? They say they love God, but they walk in the devil's principles. They maintain long-standing grudges, and they walk in unforgiveness. Do you know any Christians like that? Or do you want to be a Christian, or do you want to be a follower of Christ? Do you want to be a follower, or do you want to be a Christian? That is the question. Do you want to be a follower of Christ, or do you want to be a Christian? Well, Coach talked about the 5 most powerful steps of Jesus Christ. We know these are the 5 most powerful steps of Jesus Christ. Number 1, we know that it was the step of death. He died for us. And we know that the second step was buried. He was buried with Christ. Step 3 was Jesus' resurrection, resurrected with Christ. And step 4, Jesus' ascension. He ascended with Christ. And step 5, Jesus seated. Again, people sometimes get this one confused, or they don't even apply this, but he was seated. After he went up, he was seated on the right hand of the Father, seated with Christ. So yeah, there's 5 steps. Number 1 is the death. Number 2 is the burial. Number 3 is the resurrection. And number 4 is the ascension. And number 5 is the 5th step, which is seated. Seated at the right hand of the Father. Remember, Coach gave us 5 most powerful steps of a follower. These are 5 most powerful steps of a follower of Christ. Not a Christian, but a follower of Christ. These are the 5 most powerful steps of a follower of Christ, not a Christian. All right. Number 1, step 1, bringing death to some things in our life. We got to bring death to some things in our lives. We have to bring death to some things in our life. And the things in our life are what? Negative beliefs, negative emotions. We got to bring death to negative beliefs. We got to bring death to negative emotions. We got to bring death to negative vibrations. We got to bring death to negative feelings. And we got to bring death to the negative energy. We got to bring death to that. It has to be a death in those areas. We got to bring a death to the negative memories. All the negative memories that we have and that keep resurfacing in our life is just holding us back and stopping us for fulfilling the work that God has designed for us to do. You got to bring death to adverse childhood trauma experiences. There comes a time you got to bring a death to all that childhood, negative childhood experiences and trauma that you experienced. You got to let it go. You got to bury it. Bring death to it. Step 2 is the burial. We got to bury some things in our life forever so that we can walk in the freedom of God. Walking in the freedom of God. And some things that we need to bury in our life, again, is negative beliefs, negative emotions, and negative memories. These things have to be buried in our life. Untreated childhood trauma. We got to bury that untreated childhood trauma once and for all. We got to bury that stuff. And the third thing is resurrection. We got to rise up to fight the good fight of faith. We got to rise up to fight the good fight of faith. You got to be resurrected in your spiritual life. You got to be resurrected in your health life. You got to be resurrected in your mental life. You got to be resurrected in your financial life. You got to be resurrected in your relationship life, and you got to be resurrected in your marriage and in your family life. You got to be resurrected in those areas of your life. And step 4 is ascension. All right? It's time to soar in life now. You got to rise up in the spiritual life. Again, the health life, the mental, financial relationship. You got to soar and walk with emotional happiness. And then step 5 is the seated. Seated in life so you can rule and reign on the earth by directing, controlling, leading, and governing your own life. That's when you're seated and you're soaring. When you're governing, leading, and controlling and directing and ruling and reigning right here on earth. So the death, the burial, and the resurrection is the church. The death, burial, and the resurrection is the church. Ascension and seated on the right hand of the Father is the kingdom of God. So we learned last week that Coach Winburn went beyond the resurrection. Again, most people in most churches, they stop at resurrection. He was resurrected this Sunday. But after he was resurrected, there was 2 more steps. He ascended, and then he was seated on the right hand of the Father, interceding for us. So last week's message was a great message dealing with the 5 steps of Christ, the 5 steps of Christ. But again, today's message is Learn how to stop the violence in your heart. Coach Winburn will be up shortly addressing learn how to stop the violence in your heart. And we know that here we have a lot of violence here, and a lot of people have a lot of violence in their lives and in their heart and in their mind and in their heads. And we believe that it's a lot of this violence that we have is contributed to unresolved childhood trauma or unresolved childhood experiences in our childhood that has not been resolved, and as a result of that has taken over our adult life. So now we are adults, we are grown adults, but we still stuck in that childhood state because of the things that happened to us or the experiences that we saw or we went through. So you got to learn how to heal from trauma so you can be emotionally happy. So this trauma stuff is really, really a serious thing that we have to deal with in our lives. You can get healed in every area of your life. You can be healed in every area of your life. Your spiritual life can be healed. Your health life can be healed. Your mental life can be healed. Your financial life can be healed. Your marriage life can be healed. And your business life can be healed. You got to overcome some things, though. You got to overcome the unresolved childhood trauma. You got to overcome the guilt. You got to overcome the blame. And you got to overcome the shame. So these are things that kind of hold us back from moving forward. We get guilty and we start blaming and we have the shame and we don't want to move forward. So we got to overcome the three main brothers, guilt, blame, and shame. So once we can start to get over the guilt, the blame, and the shame, then we can start making progress. So what is guilt, though? A lot of times we walk in guilt and remorse and regret is all it is. We walking in remorse. We're remorseful for what happened, or we regret what happened. That's all guilt is, remorse and regret. And what is blame? Blame is accusations and accusing others. That's all we're doing when we blaming is we just putting accusations against other people and accusing them of something that they did or they didn't do. Now, what is shame? This shame is just basically having disgrace and dishonor. So if we can get rid of those three things in our lives, we can heal from some of the childhood trauma. We can be healed from all of that stuff. A lot of the stuff that we are carrying has been passed down to us from generation to generation. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that we're carrying now as adults has been passed down to us from one generation to the next generation, passed down to us epigenetically, passed down 3 to 4 generations by our family. Now sometimes it's hard to believe that, but there are things that's been passed down for 3-4 generations to us, and we're dealing with it today from 3 or 4 generations ago. Coach talked about ways we as parents have contributed to traumatizing our kids. Now, these are some ways that we as a parent has traumatized our kids. Physical abuse. What about hitting and beating and injuring a child? Would that traumatize a child? Absolutely. Hitting and beating a child? Absolutely. That would cause trauma in that child's life if left unresolved. It has to be dealt with. Another one, negative emotional abuse. Things such as insults, calling your children names. Could that leave a scar on them? Could that traumatize your kids? Absolutely. These are things that us as parents, have contributed to traumatizing our kids. We traumatize our kids, again, by physical abuse, by beating them. And then after we beat them, then we start calling them names. And then we traumatize them by neglecting basic needs for our children. No food, no shelter, no clothing. Will that cause trauma or traumatic experiences in your child's life if they don't have any food? They have a place to stay. They don't have shelter. Yes, absolutely. These things are traumatic to a child. Now, what about substance abuse? Your kids see you struggling with substance abuse. Is that traumatic for a kid? Absolutely. Again, these are just some ways we as parents have contributed. These are not all the ways, just some of the ways that we have contributed to traumatizing our kids. Physical abuse, emotional abuse, neglect of basic needs, and substance abuse, whether it's alcohol or drugs. There is so much we as parents have done to undermine our children in the name of parental guidance. There's so much that we've done. How do we heal our children? So how do we heal our children? All this violence that Coach is going to talk about today is, again, attributed to what? Unresolved childhood trauma. It's unresolved childhood trauma, and it's playing out it started out as childhood trauma, and it wasn't rectified, and now as an adult, we're walking around stuck and experiencing all this trauma because we never took care of it, or we never dealt with the trauma that we had in our lives. So how do we heal our children? We need to get healed first. First of all, you want to heal your children, you got to get healed first. You got to realize that you need to get healed in every area of your life first. And your spiritual life, your health life. You need to get your kids need to see your spiritual life getting better. They need to see your health life getting better, your mental life getting better. They need to see these things emotionally. Your relationships and business life can get better. They need to see these things. Once we get healed in that area, then only we can help our children to get the help that they need. We need to humble ourselves and apologize to our children for messing them up. So yeah, we messed up our kids. Dr. Bruce Lipton said that 70% of what we put in our kids as they're growing up is negative. So 70% of what we give our kids and put in our kids is negative. Only 30% of that is positive. So we need to acknowledge and apologize sincerely for hurting our kids. We need to offer unconditional and consistent support to our children. And also, we need to encourage our children to get help when needed. So if they need help, then we need to be getting them help when they need help. Coach gave us also some trigger signs that may indicate you have untreated childhood trauma. Now, these are some indicators that you may have unresolved or untreated childhood trauma. Chronic hyperarousal and vigilance, consistent sense of being on the edge. Do you have the consistent sense of just being on the edge all the time? People, do you know people like that who are consistently like on the edge? They're just on the edge all the time. What about emotional numbness, difficulty feelings, emotions? These are some trigger signs. These are just some trigger signs that you may be still dealing with unresolved childhood trauma. Again, chronic arousal. Number 2, emotional numbness. And number 3, difficulties with trust and relationships. If you're having extreme difficulties with trust and relationship, you fear or depending on others or feeling that they may betray you, yeah, that's an indication that you may be still dealing with some unresolved childhood trauma issue. What about anxiety and depression symptoms? The persistent worry. You know, people that have this persistent worry all the time, not just sometimes or every now and then, but it's a persistent worry all the time. Again, these are just some trigger signs that you may be still dealing with unresolved childhood trauma. The last one is shame and guilt and self-criticism, excessive blame. You know anybody that have excessive blame for events outside their control? They even blame themselves, and they have nothing to do with it. It's totally outside of their control, but yet they still blame themselves. Coach also talked about some signs a person may have mental challenges. Now, these are some signs that Coach gave us that to let us know that the person may be dealing with some type of mental challenge. Persistent changes in moods. You know, anyone that has persistent changes in their moods, it's very noticeable and it's ongoing all the time. Do you know anyone like that? What about person that don't sleep, insomnia, person that's constantly up all the time, or they telling you, hey, I haven't slept in 2 or 3 days. Well, that's not normal, not to sleep in 2 or 3 days. That's not normal. Again, these are some signs a person may be having some type of mental challenges. Persistent changes in their moods, and then disordered sleep patterns, unable to sleep, and then they have altered thinking. They frequently worrying about things. Their thinking is altered. It's not the same. It's not the norm. Then they have behavior changes. You see these, the avoidance of social interactions. And then there are physical symptoms that they may have with no clear medical cause. Just got physical symptoms, but no clear medical cause for it, such as what? Headaches, stomach aches, muscle tension all the time, but no medical reason why these things are going on. Well, they may be related to a sign that a person may be going through some type of mental challenge. Childhood trauma is linked to suicide and suicide ideation in children and adults. Did you know that? Yeah. Childhood trauma is linked to suicide and suicide ideation in children and adults. And then in my profession, I see the suicide all the time. Used to, when I first started, the suicide was more prevalent in adults, but now we're seeing suicide in children committing suicide. I'm talking about 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old kids that are committing suicide. So what is suicide ideation? It's the contemplation of ending your own life. Now, not kids, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, they having the thoughts. They're just having the thoughts of taking their own lives. That's the time they should be flourishing, should be growing, should be want to go outside and play and have fun and do all the other things. But yet they're contemplating taking their own lives. Why is that? Why is that these kids have these suicidal ideations about themselves? Well, again, it's probably linked to what? Unresolved childhood trauma. Things that they're experienced as a child or younger, as they were growing up younger. Things that maybe basic needs were neglected. Physical abuse, emotional abuse. All these things that are linked to that can lead a child to the point where I'll be better off somewhere else, thinking that they will be better off somewhere else if they wasn't here. Things will be better. So that's a mindset that they develop based upon how things has happened in their lives and how things are currently going in their lives. But Coach gave us some ways in helping one overcome unresolved childhood trauma. Now, these are some ways that we can help someone overcome untreated childhood trauma. Now, untreated childhood trauma is what causes us to think negative thoughts and causing harm and stuff to ourselves. But there's ways in helping people to overcome their childhood trauma. And number one way is to educate about trauma, guilt, and shame. We got to educate people about guilt and trauma, guilt and shame. And number two is naming and labeling emotions. We got to stop naming and labeling emotions. And then there's a CBT style cognitive restructuring things that they can do, and they can have compassion focused therapy techniques, and then mindfulness and non-judgmental awareness. So again, these are some ways to help people overcome untreated childhood trauma. You want to educate, you want to naming and labeling emotions, and then they got what you call CBT style cognitive restructuring, and then we have compassion-focused therapy, and then we have mindfulness and non-judgment awareness. Now, these are just some ways to help people overcome untreated childhood trauma. Well, there are 5 ways that Jesus overcame his trauma. You know, Jesus had trauma. He had trauma that we talked about last week's message. Jesus' death. Jesus bore the weight of our sins and suffered for what? For our transgressions. And number 2, Jesus' burial. Once you die to all of this stuff, you got to bury it and lay it to rest. You got to die to all this stuff. All this, once you get rid of deal with the childhood trauma, all that stuff, then you have to bury it once and for all. You got to lay it to rest and to never turn back and go back to it. The third is Jesus' resurrection. This is just the principle of Jesus' life, the resurrection. It signifies there's hope, there's renewal, there's rebirth, there's victory over death. We can rise above our past trauma experiences. We can rise above our past trauma and childhood experiences. And we can work towards profound transformation. Number 4, Jesus' ascension. As Jesus ascended to heaven to be left behind, he left behind a legacy of love, grace, and redemption. And now this teaches us the importance of transcending our past trauma and rise above our pain and suffering. So all the pain and suffering that you've gone through, you can rise above. Through his ascension, everything that you've gone through, everything that someone did to you, or everything that someone didn't do for you, you can rise above it. You can, just as Christ arose, you can rise above all that stuff, all that past trauma and pain and suffering. And the last one, number 5, Jesus seated. Jesus was seated at the right hand of the Father. And this final stage of being seated on the stages in the final stages of Jesus' life, we see him seated at the right hand of the Father. We see that he's seated on the right hand of the Father, symbolizing his eternal reign and his authority. So we see that. This stage reminds us that through our own healing journey, we can find peace and solace in the presence of God. So yeah, we could find peace and solace in the presence of God. That childhood trauma do not have to take over and rule your life. You can get beyond that childhood trauma. You can move on beyond the past experiences, negative experiences that shaped your life. But there's a process that you have to go through. Again, we talked about the death of it. You got it has to die in your life, and then you have to bury this stuff so that you can actually move forward. Because if you don't die to it, or you don't bury it, then you're still carrying it and carrying it and carrying it and carrying this weight around, and it's pulling you down instead of helping you to rise above. So all this weight on you does not allow you to ascend, to move up. And that's what we do in life. We get stuck, and we want to carry everything, and it's weighting us down. We can't get to where we need to get. We can't rise above these things because we got all this dead weight that we're carrying around with us. And we don't have to do that, because we learn that we can rise above all that. We can rise above all that stuff in our life, and we can start our own healing journey. Again, finding peace and solace in the presence of God. So why are there so many people unhappy? Why are people just so unhappy? again, today, Coach is going to talk about the violence. Learn how to stop the violence in your heart, in your mind, and in your head today. But why are people so unhappy? Why are people so unhappy? Well, Coach reminds us, just because you love someone doesn't mean you need to marry them. Love covers what? A multitude of what? Of sin. Love covers a multitude of sin. Coach gave us some response where we can love someone but not trust them. Coach gave us some a reason rather that we can love someone but not trust them. He said what? Love is a choice rooted in care. Trust is earned what? Over time. Trust is earned over time. Trust requires consistency, reliability. Love can persist in spite of certain outcomes. Love holds captive for grace. Trust requires predative behaviors such as grace. Grace allows for mistakes if behavior is what? Inconsistent. You can care deeply for someone while disapproving of their conduct. You can love someone and care deeply for them, but the things that they're doing you disagree with. Trust is lost. I've heard this before. Trust is lost in buckets, and then it's gained back in drops. Love is free, but trust is earned. Coach gave us some questions we should be asking our significant other before marriage and relationship. These are just some questions that we should be asking our significant other or the person that we're considering marrying. Some questions like, how have you been in a long-term relationship before? You need to ask these questions. If you have the intention on marrying someone, you need to know, have they been in a long-term relationship before? Because the goal of the marriage is to be in a long-term marriage. So if they haven't been in a long-term relationship before, they may not be able to be in a long-term marriage. So you need to ask the question, were you in a long-term relationship before? And if so, if they were in a long-term relationship, what lessons did they learn from that long-term relationship? Then you may ask, what attracted you to the person, to your partner or your previous partner? And then what caused the end? What happened in your last relationship? And then how many prior relationships have you had that failed or ended? All right, Coach gave us some characteristics of chaotic families. Again, we was talking about some characteristics of some chaotic families. Inconsistent routines and boundaries, frequent changes in mealtime and bedtime. Now, these are just some excuse me. These are just some characteristics of families that are kind of chaotic and they're all over the place. Inconsistencies in boundaries, such as meal times. What about bedtimes? Not going to bed at a certain time, or not eating at all, or eating too late. Poor communication patterns. People have poor communication patterns. The information is unclear, or it's interrupted, or it's dismissed. What about unstable environments? People have unstable environments that need to be checked. All right. Coach gave us some reasons why children are so mean and angry these days. These are just some reasons. Remember we talked about why people are so unhappy, and then today Coach is going to be dealing with how to stop the violence in your heart. So these are just some reasons why Coach reminds us that children are so mean and angry these days. Reason number one, chronic stress and adversities, prolonged stress and poverty. Could that be a reason why your kids are mean and violent and acting out? Because they have prolonged stress and they're dealing and living in poverty? Yes, absolutely. Number two, mental health conditions, untreated distress, anxiety, and depression, ADHD. Do you see that a lot? A lot of ADHD diagnosis, or even now, you don't even have to be diagnosed. People they give you that label. If if you can't remember something or concentrate on something, they automatically say he got ADHD. That's a mental health condition. Untreated distress, anxiety, and depression. Again, these are some reasons why children are so mean and angry these days. What about sleeping? What about kids that are not sleeping? Sleep deprivation, inadequate or irregular sleep. They're not getting enough sleep that they need. Or it's irregular. They're only getting 3 hours, and then they got to get up. Irregular sleep patterns. That could be a reason why your kids are so angry these days. And let's not forget the social media and the digital environment. Online interactions can escalate conflict and normalize hostile norms. So kids been allowed and having access to online activity and looking at things that they have no business looking at all. But yet, only thing you have to do now is just get a computer that have internet access, and you can type in anything, and whatever you type in, boom, it pops right up, and there it is. Could that have an impact on our children, on why they're so mean and why they're so angry these days? Absolutely. Looking at all this stuff on the internet, when I was growing up, there was no internet. So when we grew up, we didn't have the opportunity to type in something or just scroll and read. We can read things all over the world now just by getting on the internet. We can see things that we would never have seen if we weren't on the internet. So the internet have given us the access to a lot of stuff, and that could be a contributing factor to why kids are so mean and why kids are so angry these days. So exposure to violence. Kids being exposed to violence in their homes. They seeing mom and dad fighting all the time. They seeing brothers and sisters fighting all the time. They seeing mom, dad fighting, dad shooting mom shooting out, stabbing mom. All types of stuff go on in the home. What about abuse, sexual abuse or physical abuse in the home? Kids are seeing that. Could that be a contributing factor to why kids are so mean and angry these days? Absolutely. Absolutely, it sure can. Exposure to violence is one of the worst things, really, that the kids can see, because they grow up thinking that's the norm. That's okay. This is what we do here. It's okay to do that. That's why they're so angry and upset, and that's why they have the violence in their heart. It's in their heart, their minds, and in their body, and then they want to go out and they want to act on it. But Coach gave us some chaotic families that was in the Bible. There were some chaotic families. There's no perfect families. Every family goes through, there's a little dysfunction in every family, but some more so than others. But Coach did give us some chaotic families that was in the Bible. We know who the chaotic families were. What about Adam and Eve? Was that kind of chaotic? What about Cain and Abel? Cain killed Abel. That's chaotic. Cain killed Abel. What about Noah's family? The past flood and the drunkenness? Yeah, that's chaotic. What about Abraham's family? Sarah, Hagar, and Ishmael. What about them? What about that? Is that trauma? Yeah. But Coach did give us some practical ways to cultivate love, joy, peace, and happiness. Now, these are just some practical ways that we can cultivate love, joy, peace, and happiness by reducing chaos and drama in your life. Again, these are ways that we can reduce chaotic things in our life and cultivate love, joy, peace, and happiness. All right, number one, select clear boundaries. That's what we have to do. We have to select clear boundaries, and we have to limit the exposure to negativity. We have to be intentional about limiting our exposure to the negative stuff. And there's so much negative stuff going around. So we seeing more abuse and more negative stuff every day. Every day that we wake up and go out, we see negative stuff that's impacting our life and influencing our life, because people now are becoming more unhinged. People are so unhinged these days. They're doing everything and anything, and you can't make a person mad now. You know, people are so angry and so upset. If you step on their shoes, or you accidentally bump them or something, now they want to kill you, because now everybody got guns. This is a state where you can carry conceal here, so everybody want to protect themselves, and everybody got guns. And normally, if someone push you or bump you, it may turn into a verbal altercation. And then a lot of times, that used to be the case where if it's only a verbal altercation and it's done with it and it's over. But nowadays, because everybody have guns and because people have unresolved childhood trauma, and they are so unhappy, emotionally unhappy, that when someone bump you or hurt you or do something to you now, the first thing you want to do is pull your gun out and shoot them. So things have changed so much. Again, these are just some ways, some practical ways Coach gave us to cultivate love, joy, peace, and happiness, and by reducing the chaos in our lives and our family. And number one, again, was select clear boundaries. And number two, exposure to the negativity. And then you have to cultivate supportive routines. You got to cultivate supportive routines, positive routines, doing things that are right and the things that's going to help you to move forward in your life. Then you have to nurture healthy relationships. Not negative relationships, but you have to nurture and foster healthy relationships. That's being around healthy people who are going somewhere, people who are moving forward in their life and not stuck and not going backwards. And then you have to simplify commitments. Sometimes we overcommit to things and say that we want to do this, or we're going to do this, or we're going to help this person, or do something, and we know it. Even when we say we're going to do it, that we can't even do it. So sometimes we overcommit ourselves and we don't do what we need to do. And the last one is foster a solution, not problems. You got to foster or focus on solutions and not the problem. A lot of times we do the opposite. We focus on the problem and not the solution. So if we focus on the solution, the problem will get taken care of. And then foster generosity and service. Foster generosity. And guys, so Coach Winburn is ready to bring today's message. Again, you're going to learn today how to stop the violence in your heart. And with that, I'd like to bring up Coach Winburn.
Well, blessings on blessings on each and every one of you all this morning. We thank you, and we praise the name of the Lord, for he is wonderful and worthy to be praised, and we honor the Lord today in his house. And we appreciate each and every one of you all as we move forward. Today, those that are here, it will be therapeutic definitely for you today. I'm bringing one of those therapeutic messages, so get ready, and we want to thank Coach Dan Ray for holding the fort down. And can you just cut that off of me? I cut there. Y'all feel it. So we're just going to cut it off. So that's good. Okay. Learn how to stop the violence in your heart. Am I moving the right way? I guess well, let's see. What you say, this, or the down one? Okay, let's see. We're going to see if we do this right. Well, I was trying to get the, we just cut it off, sister. Don't worry. Stop the war in your head. It's cut off. Stop the war in your head and find peace today. I know there's a war going on in the country, but I'm here to deal with the war that's going on in your head. Because we cannot have war in our countries unless there are people that's got war in their head. These are people that's studying war. And the Bible said, I believe, something like, let us study war no more. So let's see, we're going to go back here. We're going to learn how to stop the violence in your heart and find peace. And we're going to move forward in the things of the Lord. This right to the, this is, I'm looking for the, maybe I should go back this way. I should just keep going I'm going this way. Address the violence of your heart and find peace. Address the violence of your heart again and find peace. Why are there so many violent people? Boy, I tell you, I just hate to tell y'all this. Y'all might know it. Most of the people is in y'all's family, around us, in your periphery. People are just so violent. Look how they drive. Just drive like they're on the expressway and just don't even care. And they're violent folk. I don't care how you say it. They can fix it up. Nobody's in that kind of hurry to hurt other people. Confront the violence in your heart and find peace. Confront the violence in your heart and find peace today. Violence. When will you stop it in your life? There it is. When will you stop it in your life? And then find peace. Stop the war in your brain. Stop the violence in your heart. Stop the violence in your heart. Stop the violence in your life. And now, is this it? I hit it right now? Just keep going up, evidently. Not welcome Sunday morning mastermind class with you in mind, Coach Dan Ray, my beloved Coach Dan Ray, my beloved Coach Futel, and we'll tell you about a great honor, one of the renowned world magazines. Coach Futel made it. We'll talk about that next week. I tell you, he was recognized, and one of the coaches, isn't that amazing? One of the coaches from Renew Community Church right here in the city of Cincinnati. I am Charlie Winburn, your life coach.
Now, I think it's a little out of order, but I'm going to go now. I went up. Now I'm going to go back in order to get to the message. I think y'all have it a little bit in reverse there, so I just want to let you know, be aware of that. So now I'm going, we went up, and now I'm going to go back, and we're going to go right to now just to help me out, is the tithes and offerings right here somewhere? If not, we'll just overlook it today, but those who want to give, because this here goes right into the PowerPoint. But if you don't have it, I don't want to interfere with nothing. Is that okay? So we're just going to keep going. So hopefully it's just a little out of order there, but we will make it. Okay. Why don't we just stay here? We're in the ebook, everybody. Oh, those who would like to give today, anybody know what it's called? Cash App, is that it? Cash App, Renew Community Church. You can start there. And Coach Dan Ray. Oh, yeah, there it is. Okay, Cash App, if you'd like to give right now, take the opportunity to give. Coach Dan Ray, can you come and receive the tithes and offerings of me and Barrage? We're trying to get the provision of the Lord upon our lives. The Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, blessed. You with me? A 1,000-fold return. Thank you, dear Brenda, for your giving. Thank you, dear beloved Kim, for your giving early this morning. And here are my tithes and offerings. So if those would like to give in the Cash App, let's move on that as quick as we can. So that's an opportunity. Now we're going to go. These are the scriptures. Is that correct? We're just going to stay here. And I want to make sure, do I go down? I just hit down. Is that correct? Okay. So you all, they did a good job this morning. I tell you, we're working with it. They did a good job. So here's what I like to do now. If you all can work with me, good morning to each and every one of you. Good afternoon to others. I want to therapeutically help you get your healing right now. Did y'all hear me? And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind. How many of y'all want to be healed like right now? Like this moment? Anybody want to get healed like this moment? Not tomorrow, not next week, not in the next hour, but won't you say right now? So how many of y'all believe he's a right now God? Okay, so let's read some of the scriptures that we're going to be dealing with today, but we're going to talk about, it's going to be very therapeutic, and it's going to open you up in a way as a person that you have not been opened up to. So, but it's going to bring, it's all about healing. Won't y'all say it's all about healing? It's all about your healing today. So let's just look at a few scriptures. Just look at a few. It's quite a few in your ebook. We're in our ebook right now, and it's free. I will lay me down in peace and sleep. Lord, only maketh me dwell in safety.
The Lord will give strength unto his people. The Lord will bless his people with peace. How many of you all know that? He will bless you with peace. If you want peace and pursue peace, the Lord will give strength unto his people. Just a few more we'll read. Depart from evil, depart from violence, and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. Here's one. Mark the perfect man or woman, and behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace. Be still and know. You want to marry somebody? You want to marry a man of peace. You women, you want to marry a woman of peace. Be still and know that I'm God, and I will exalt them among the heathen. And here's one. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee. I am a living witness of that. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness shall be quietness and assurance forever. Would you like to just be in a dating relationship where you got peace, righteousness, quietness, and assurance? Would y'all like that? That's how it's supposed to flow. Not with all that drama, Obama. Not with all that drama stuff that people be doing and talk about their past and talk about their mammy and their daddy and all the stuff that happened to each other. And, you know, it's just awful, you all. But would you like that? Let's look at this scripture again. This is a kingdom scripture. And the work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness, quietness, and assurance forever. Those who are tuning in right now, you're tuning in with Renew Community Church, and we're going to be dealing with violence in your heart today. You probably won't know how violent you are until you hear this message today. How it doesn't take somebody having a gun to be violent. We want to show you how you do it and how it could be affecting your life if you change that area. Here's one. For ye shall go out with joy and lead forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you, even singing. And peace will I leave with you. These things have I spoken unto you, that you might have peace. And therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Be careful for nothing, but in everything. This is where we get this thing, I don't care. But, you know, be careful for nothing, but in everything, in prayer and supplication with thanksgiving. Let your requests be made known unto God, and the peace of God, which passes understanding. Here's one. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts today. And here's some scriptures to encourage you, to encourage you to not be in balance, to get out of that. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. You have heard an eye for an eye and tooth for an eye for an eye it says for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you that ye shall resist evil, violence, and recompense to no man or woman evil for evil. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace today. So see that we don't render evil to anyone. Are you all here with me? You may even feel like you want to hurt somebody, but hey, let it go. Is everybody here with me? So let's move forward. Father, in Jesus' name, I pray that the Father of glory will give each and every one of us the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him today. And I pray that the deep things of God, yea, the deep things of God, that the word of the Lord will go forth today and heal the people that's in the auditorium, heal the people that's listening by Facebook and YouTube, those that will listen today and all week long and throughout the year, they will hear this message. I pray right now in Jesus' name, Christ, the anointed one, and his anointing. Amen. Now, why are people so violent, you all? And I'm going to help give you some. Why are people so violent? But there are 4 forces can spark constant violence in our life, Dr. Ann Barrage and Dr. Brenda. Conflict and wars. My beloved Bianca, how you doing today? May the Lord bless you real good. Thank you all today. Y'all launched us out here. You got us. We don't know how you did it, but you did. You got us here. And but there are 4 forces, Dr. Kim, that is behind all of this stuff that you all seeing going on in, even it could be in your life, in your periphery, in your family, in your dating, in your friendship, in your engagement, and in your marriage. Now, here's one, And guess what? All of this is birthed out of unresolved childhood trauma. Unresolved child. You got to leave today at 1:30, my man? Oh, okay. God bless you. Beautiful. I'll stay here till 4 o'clock then. No, I'm just playing. Okay. So all of this is birthed out of unresolved childhood trauma. I want y'all to hear what I'm getting ready to say because it's going to bless you today because it blessed me. I don't teach a message anymore. I stopped doing that decades ago. Any message I teach is first for me. So if I'm teaching on violence, I want to make sure I don't have any in my heart. If I even think I got something in my heart, and this week I prayed, Lord, if there's any violence in my heart, conflict in my heart, war going on in my head, war going on in my mind, I'm asking you to reveal it to me so I could repent of it, get healed from it. So what I'm talking about is a result of unresolved childhood trauma, untreated childhood trauma that has taken on in the personality and taken on in the adulthood of the person. I'm going to show you 4 things where people are at every day in your life. And you get a chance to take these 4 things and see if you do them or not. And these things are triggered by childhood trauma to let you know you still have childhood trauma in one form or another. Number one, there are people, this is all they do. Number one, fighting your way through life. Have y'all ever heard of that? Everybody say, fighting your way through life. Fighting your way. There are people, I want you all to know, fending off yourself, people, places, and things, fighting against people, places, and things. People love the fight. They love to argue. They love to debate. Anybody know people like that? And they destroy everything they touch. Do y'all know any people like that in America? They destroy everything they touch. And guess what? And these are people who fight when there's nobody fighting them. They fight when the Bible says they are fighting when nobody's pursuing them. No enemy is pursuing you, but you are fighting. And so, number one, these are triggers. This is scientific. There's a couple things on the scientific realm that what happens when you're triggered in your brain is triggered and turned on in the fight mode. If you're fighting, it's really nothing to do with what you ate. It has everything to do with what is going on in your brain. You have high cortisol going on in your brain, high inflammation, toxicity going on in your brain, and you got all this stuff that has turned this switch on. There are people that's got a switch turned on in their brain, and they've been like that for years and in their lives, and they now 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and they have been like that all their life. Have y'all ever seen people that they just been like that all their life? Well, what it is, they have a switch that was turned on, especially when it comes to fighting. Everybody say there are people that fight their way through life. Come on, is that right? And then the next one is called flight. It's called fight or flight. How many of y'all heard of that? The next one is called flight. These are people that fleeting your way through life. They're always fleeting, leaving and walking away. These are people that will leave you in a drop of a hat. Now, I'm going to share something with y'all in a moment here that'll help you. So once y'all say flight, fleeting, flight, they fleeting your way. Let's just call it fleeting your way through life, which is flight. Leaving and walking away from your relationships. They walk away from people, places, and things. They constantly moving all over the world. They struggle to bond in a healthy way with others. They end relationships when they're challenged. They say everyone that they have left in a relationship is toxic but them. Did y'all hear with me? They always say, I left them because they're toxic. I left it. You done left 30 people, sister. Brother, you done left 50, you done left 100 women, and all them 100 women were a problem? And so that's right, it's flight. Once y'all say fight or flight. And so this is triggered. So they left, they'll leave you, they leave others. And if you left 10, 20 people in your life, you've got to look at your life and say, that just didn't happen by accident. What happened, your switch in your brain was not turned off. If you're leaving people, and I'm going to talk to you about, I used to say, my beloved Brenda, I used to say, why people always leaving me? I used to always say that, even in the ministry. I said, why are they always leaving? I used to take it personally. I said, why are they leaving? Didn't too many leave me in relationships? I'm going to be honest, they just kind of faded out. I only really, as I look at it, I've only had in my college days, I would like to use my college days. In my college days, I really only had one person to really officially leave me. One. You know, y'all with me? I only had one to really officially leave me. But I want to tell you why I used to say that. And I didn't quite understand. We're going to answer that in a moment. Why do people leave you? We're going to say that. Why do people walk away from their relationship with you? This will bless you because you've been taking it personally. You've been internalizing it, and you've been maybe internalizing it as guilt or shame, and you don't want nobody, oh, they walked away from me. You didn't know why they separated from you. You don't know why they divorced you. And I don't know, have you all had anybody in there, have anybody walk away from you? Just walk away. And then and 9 times out of 10, they blame you in the process. Actually, 10 times out of 10. Anybody walk out of your life, they're blaming you. They're not your friends. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? They're not your friends. Then the next one is, now repeat after me. The first one, come on, we got a lot to accomplish. Repeat after me, fighting your way through life, number 1. Come on. Number 2, fleeting your way through life, or flighting your way. I'm going to make that term up. Flighting your way through life. They're all the flight. Y'all ready for the third one? Here's what people do. Hiding from life. They hiding their way through life. So what does that mean? They hide from people, places, and things. You get in relationships with them. They hide their childhood trauma. They marry you. Oh, you get married. Oh, my trauma's gone. Day 1, soon you say, I do. Trauma. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? So they hide their way through life, and they hide from people, places, and things. They hide their childhood traumas, and they hide the dark side of their life. They hide behind excuses because they don't want to change, and they don't want to walk in freedom. So that's another group. They hide their way through life. Isn't it interesting that, I hate to tell you all this, this is going to be a very disappointing. 9 out of 10 people that you date, that you are in friendship with, to intend to marry, maybe, or have a committed relationship with, or fellowship with, or engagement with, can I just be open and honest with you? Most of them are going to hide stuff from you. And they're going to say it's none of your business to know that. Well, if you killed up 30 people, don't you think that's my business? I mean, do you understand what I'm saying? You cut up somebody, you hurt somebody. Do you understand? And here's what I can say. If you've gotten healed of something and it's been resolved and it's no longer going to be a public issue, you don't have to share that. You don't have to share that. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Well, you kissed 4 monkeys. You know, that's fine. You ain't doing that anymore. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? Now look at Kia. So you healed. That's something. If you heal from some stuff and it's not going to become a public situation or an embarrassment to you or your family. Did it get warm again in here? Okay, I told you, I knew that teacher would. Hey, could you just cut on just a little bit? Just push it up to cool. That's all. Just hit the word, and then we'll cut it back down. Is everybody still with me? Okay, so here's what. Let's name them, you all. So what are people doing? They're fighting their way through life. You got friends, family and friends. Number 2, there are people that are flighting their way through life. That means they're fleeting. They're leaving you, constantly. Then there's those who are hiding their way through life. Okay, is that right? Now, you ready for the 4th one? Then there are people, and you got to remember, all this stuff is triggered in your brain. And these are signs that you still have unresolved, untreated childhood trauma in your life. The next one is called resisting through life. They resist everything. What does that mean? They oppose. They're against everything. They push against everything. They're always in a fight.
I used to have certain people call me all the time. Winburn, let's go fight. Let's go beat up on the mayor. Let's go beat up on the deacons. Let's go beat up on this pastor. Let's go beat up. And they could tell you they fight against everything, but they never tell you what they're for. So y'all is that helpful, everyone? Let's go on. Now, we're watching our time here. I want y'all to hear this. People are always coming and going in our lives. Would you all agree? But I used to ask the question, why do people leave you? What is this all about? Why do people leave us? I'm pretty sure everybody in here has had somebody to leave you and then leave you unannounced. I mean, they're gone. They just walk away. And then there are people that leave you and blame you. And I used to wonder about that. But then guess what? I discovered in John 6:6, that's a good number to play, I guess. It says, they turned back and followed Jesus no more. There were people that left Jesus. And they left Jesus all the time. When Jesus started speaking the word of the Lord, they left him. There are people that don't like this trauma message. Oh, Winburn, ain't nothing wrong with me. Brother, you are the one that really need this message. And so and then the Bible says, Jesus said, you love me with your heart, but your mouth, you love me with your mouth, but your heart is far from me. That's in Matthew's. Now, why do people, I used to say, well, people would leave me, and I would wonder, why did they leave me? Well, let me tell you what I discovered in life. I discovered the answer. I was just in a relationship with them, with people who had their switch turned on for flight to leave me. So so I was in relationships with people who suffer from childhood trauma, or people that I knew that suffer from childhood trauma. Their switch was turned on to flight. They were ready to leave at all times. So people who leave relationships, they have the flight switch turned on in their brain. When people normally just leave you and you don't really know why, they just leave. I'm leaving. I'm gone. I'm out of here. And then there's some just to blame you. Even if they blame you, you ain't no good. You didn't do this. They're leaving you because there are people in our lives, the majority of people, I hate to tell you, in our lives, they have the flight switch turned on in their brain. And they'll leave you at any time. So I learned that. So now I got the gift of goodbye. When people leave me now, I say, oh, goodbye. You know, no, I don't even argue with them. I don't even ask the question now, my beloved Sister Ann. I don't even ask why they gone now. Goodbye. Because, you know, the more you dig it into why they left, you come to find out more psychiatric they are. You know, and now you're going to have to be involved in therapy. So people are going to leave you. Now, I'm going to say this, and we understand people. Now, if somebody is leaving someone and they're violent, everybody say violent, or abusive, or threatening you, how many of y'all know that's different? We're not talking about that. But I'm going to tell you, look at all the relationships that you have left, and that's going to determine how well you're going to do in marriage and how long you're going to stay with someone. And if you say, if my beloved Kim, if you say, oh, I left 50 people, and Brother Charles helped me to find a man to marry. Even if I did, you ain't gonna stay with them, because you got your switch. It says they have the flight switch turned on in their brain, so you're not gonna stay with them. Look at the number of people you left. Matter of fact, it'd be better if they left you for whatever reason. Because that says that you are more stable to be in a dating relationship, in friendship relationship, in an engagement relationship, and in a marriage relationship. So this is going to help y'all now. Before y'all marry people now, I got another little cut. This is a $10,000 consultant fee. Now, do not marry anybody that will not tell you how many people they left in their relationships. How many relationships ended? And 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you that they walked away. That is a red flag for you. Why is it a red flag for you? They may be a beautiful person, a great man, a handsome guy, But if they've left 10 people, 20 people, 30 people, they left these people, guess what? 9 times out of 10, they're going to leave you. If their flight switch in their brain is not cut off. And at the end of this message today, we're gonna show all of y'all how to turn off all the switches. Is that pretty good today? We're gonna show all of y'all today at the end, and we're gonna get through with this. It's gonna be very intense and therapeutic. We're gonna show everybody that's in here today, that's in the auditorium, that's listening. Anybody listening to us today? Dan, Coach Dan, write down their names if you got a few. Okay, listen to this. Today at the end, Dr. Kim, my beloved, we're going to show you how to turn off fighting your way through life. We're going to show y'all how to turn off flighting your way through life, fleeing your way through life, hiding your life, and resisting through life. We're going to show you how to stop hiding stuff, because 9 times out of 10, people don't care anyway. The people that should only care is the people that you're going to date, you're going to marry, you're going to be in a long-term relationship, because I took all the stuff that I was hiding from in my life and talked about it, so nobody could use it against me down the road. You know, I did with all that. I dealt with all that, separation, divorce, all the stuff. I just put it out there, you all, and then told everything I needed. I told my side of it at least. You understand what I'm saying? Now, let's move on. So I gave you that today. Ask the person. Y'all will ask, my beloved Bianca, ask your next boyfriend how many people. No, it should be the other way around. How many people you've left, you walked away from. Are you with me? Okay, so let's talk about, just quickly, y'all, turn the switch off on flight. What is flight? I'm going to hit this real quick. I got to watch my time. Turn the switch off on flight. What is flight? I'm getting to our message, y'all. We're laying the foundation. Is everybody with me? Flight is, what is flight? Flight is combating something. When you're in fight, when you're fighting. Everybody say fighting. Fighting is battling something. You ever seen people battling something all the time? Opposing something, resisting something, contending with something, clashing with something. Have y'all seen folks like that? Grappling with stuff, going to battle with something, contending with something, fighting with the influence of something, up against something. Have y'all ever met people, every time you see them, how you doing? I'm fighting something. I'm fighting the devil. They're fighting. Well, what it is, there's a switch in their brain. This is scientific information I'm giving you. There's a switch in their brain that causes them to fight all the time. And that's because they haven't resolved their childhood trauma. See, I know you all take the scripture and read, we fight not against principalities and all that. That's for weak people. That's for baby believers who just come into the faith. That's not for weoses or fully mature people who's been in Christ for 2 and 3 years. We're not fighting the devil at all, because whatever you oppose, you get more of it. Whatever you fight, you get more of it. Whatever you stand against, you get more of it. Now, here's one. We got to turn the switch of flighting off of your life. What is that? These are people that's always leaving, always moving, breakaway. They always running. They always evasion. They always just, they got to break up. They're going to leave you. The separation and divorce, they love that. They're always going from one relationship to another. And then they blame it on all the people that they left. Ain't nobody healed but them. I left 50 men. I left 50 women, and all of them were toxic women. And they don't even see themselves. So that switch has to be turned on. What does it mean to also, so that switch has to go off. Here's another one, you all. The other one is called hiding. They're hiding, they're keeping. Have you ever just seen people, and they'll tell you, these are hiding people, hiding from something, keeping out of sight of something, taking cover from something, staying hidden from something. Here's some more stuff. evading something. You ever seen folk like that? Evading something. Lying low to avoid something. Ducking from something. Camouflaging oneself from something. Staying out of the line. Ducking away from something. Avoiding contact. Staying off the radar. And they're always trying to hide something in their lives. And guess what? There's a switch in their brain that need to be turned off. Because 9 times out of 10, most people do not care about what you've been hiding. And I think we should take the dark spots of our life and turn them into books and turn them into movies. That's what Tyler Perry did. That's what a lot of the actors have done. You can say what you want about Tyler Perry. Tyler has taken the dark sides of his life, and he has put it together in movies and plays and all of that other stuff is what he has done. And let me see, I got to watch what I'm doing here. So let's do this so we can go here to the ebook. Can we go to the ebook? So I laid some groundwork in your life. And you got to ask yourself, are you fighting all the time? What are you fighting with? Who are you fighting? You got to bring an end to the fighting so that you can have peace in your life. Number 2, flighting. Fight or flight. When things don't work right for you, I'm out of here. And they do that in the church all the time. I'm out of here. I ain't going. I'm out of Word of Deliverance. I'm out of Renewed Community Church. I'm out of here. And they always run it, and they run from church to church. Been to 100 churches, but they always fleeing, getting out of relationships. And then we got to find out what's in our life that we're ashamed of, and that you allowing others, if they find out about you, and that they wouldn't love you no more. Well, you don't want to be around somebody like that anyway. If they find out you've done something in life and they don't want to be around you, fine. But the stuff that we're hiding, and then the stuff that you're resisting in life. What about the stuff that you're constantly? Most people say they won't change. Can I tell you all this? I'm going to say it 100%. I'm going to say 99.99% other than me, resist change. When change, people say they won't change, and soon change come, they can't take it. They won't adapt to it. People say they won't change. You hear, there's a change coming. They used to sing these songs, there's a change coming. People are not ready for change because they've done stuff. If you keep on doing what you've always done, you're going to keep on getting what you've always got. And many times you can't change because you resist it. So let's find out why people are violent. I laid some groundwork. There are 25 signs of potentially violent people. How many of you all would agree? Who here would agree that we live in a violent America? I ain't talking about the world. I don't know what it's all over. How many of you all will agree? And let's just be honest. We live in a violent city. Is that? Are you all here? And then sometimes the mayor and others, they want to deny it. And I hate to tell you, some of our politicians are violent. They are mean and nasty and mistreat people. And mistreat people because they're a Democrat, or mistreat somebody because they're a Republican. Then they get violent with you. So let's take a look at this. There are 25 signs of potentially violent people. Who do we have? Do you have anybody listed? Well, I know there's people listening. We got a lot of folk listening, you all. They don't comment because they tell me when they see me around city. I said, why you don't comment? They just normally don't comment. That's good. Thank you. You just leave it there for a while, and you add some more later on. Okay, history. Here it is, you all. Let's take a look. Come on. Is y'all going to work with me? Stand up if you like and stretch like Fred Price used to be. Here are 25 signs of potentially violent people. Should we cut it off again? Because we can. Okay. Is that okay? You okay right now? She okay. 25 signs of potentially, how do you know somebody's violent? And then you need to look at yourself. You really need to look at yourself and ask yourself, number one, a history of aggression and violence. And I'm not going to read all this stuff. These are repeated physical flight and threats and intimidation. And all you have to do is look around our community, Look in your family. So here's one definition. So the question is, what are the signs? Everybody say, what are the signs? Say it again, what are the signs? What are the signs that there are potentially violent people that are around you? Here we go. Y'all ready, my beloved? History of aggression or violence. Number 2, escalating anger. Do anybody know people like that? Escalating anger. They just get angry at nothing. And then guess what they do? They go into fight, or they go into flight, or they go into hiding, or they go into resisting. See how all that comes out? So what are the signs of violent people? Here's one, threatening behavior. You ever seen people like that? They threaten you with indirect threats, indicating an intent to harm you. Let's look at the next one. Delusional or paranoid thinking. Beliefs that others are out to harm them. Do y'all know folk like that? Beliefs that others are out to harm them. What are the signs of violent people so you'll know around them? And social isolation or withdrawal, limited social connections can reduce external checks and support. These are people, many times, social isolation or people that's hiding stuff. Let's go to the next one. Here's one, substance misuse. Heavy, people that's on drugs, you all. I hate to tell you all this, you all. I've seen situations where fathers and mothers have taken their children in and they were on drugs and the children robbed them. And then there's been stories all over America where they take their children back in the homes and the children end up killing them and kill them through domestic violence. So how do you know? What are the signs of violence? Access to weapons, possession of firearms or other legal weapons raises the potential of severity. Now, I got one family member in my family, and I love them. I really love them. But they have no business with no guns. Are you all here with me? Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Because if they get in a fight mode, they're ready to hurt. You know, so access to weapons is that'll do it. History of domestic conflict. Prior abusive behavior toward others and partners and others. What are some of the signs? Intense jealousy and possession of control. You know, we all should, if you're in a relationship of dating and engagement and relationship and marriage, you have a little jealousy. You understand? It's just a little, but brother, when it's possessive, because if you're that, you ever hear people say, I just love you to death? Run. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Please run from them, because I don't want you. You don't want that death love. Are y'all with me? No, I don't need you killed. I just love you to death. Oh, please, I wish you never said that, because I'm scared of you now. So we have this intense jealousy or possession. It's okay to have, to have a little, you don't want folk messing with your stuff. Are y'all with me? You're dating. Let's go on. Is everybody still with me? Let's see. Am I going right here? 10. Impulsivity, acting without considering consequences. There are people, you just look at your own life. Try to look at your life and say, Lord, heal me from any of this. If I'm impulsive and I go off and I'm ready to harm people. Lack of empathy. There's just some people that just don't have any empathy for anyone. And they're violent folk. I don't care about nobody. I don't care about the poor. I don't care about anyone. I don't care about the old lady walking across the street. Look at the violence. Look how they talk. Look how people talk in the relationships with you. Belief in using violence as problem solving. Y'all can look around the country. I don't need to name no names, do I? Do I need to name any names? Belief in using violence to solve problems. And y'all can just look around the country. Y'all been watching the news? Have y'all been watching the news? Okay, signs of violence. Okay, let's go on, everybody. Victimization, perceiving themselves persecuted or wrong. Do y'all have anybody in y'all's family that believe they're a victim? Everybody's picking on them. Y'all don't like me. I'm the black sheep of the family. Believe it or not, their victimization is a form of violence. It's a form of violence because what it is, they flipped it on you. And they're dangerous. There could be some poor impulse control under stress, struggles with regulating your emotions when you're stressed out. You got to calm yourself down. And we're going to walk y'all through here momentarily ways to just cut that, get out of the this flight, fight, hiding, and resisting. We're going to show you how to bring some peace to your life. How many of y'all want to bring in some areas of your life? You may not have much of these signs. What are some of the other signs? A history of legal problems, of arrests. Always, I got people that I know, it's always something. Always got some kind of problem. Always got some history of being arrested or court orders or battery or fighting and just can't get along. I mean, y'all know. Oh, by the way, let me tell you what I do. Everybody know me here in town. I tell folk, do not call me if you're my friend and you go to jail. I don't bond. I do not bond people out, and I'm sorry, I don't go visit them. I just don't do that. And I got some of my friends, and they know it now. One of my friends, he'll tell you right now. He said, look, if I get locked up, I can't expect Winburn to come see me. He ain't gonna send me no money. He ain't gonna do. I know y'all got these scriptures. Oh, I didn't visit the sick, the poor. Let me just visit the sick and the poor. I didn't say I had to be in the jail with you. And don't call. They know not to call me. They said, well, Winburn, if your wife went to jail, would you get her out? I said, no. I told her I don't do that. I don't do jail. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? What about civil rights? I don't do that. I'm sorry, you got the wrong person. Now, if my beloved Brenda go, I'm going to get her out. Because me and Brenda been together 50 years. She about the only one I get out. She about the only one, my beloved. Okay, let's go on. History, coercive or controlling behavior. You ever see people just coerce? They're always controlling, always in your face. Next one is rapid shifts in mood. Oh, here's one. Look at your own self. Everybody in the auditorium, my beloveds here, just look at yourself. You got these mood swings. Very seldom do I even border on a mood swing. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? And what I do, if I feel that I need to lift my vibrations, I start doing breathing techniques. I'll show you some things. I got 25 things that's going to help us so we won't become violent. And if you got any violence in your life, I believe this is going to help to get it out of your life. Here's one. What are some of the other signs that people, hypervigilance and suspicious, constant suspicious of others? It's all right to have a little of it, but you can go overboard. Are you all here with me? So we have to do that. I just don't trust nobody. Everybody is, they doing something. They used to have this thing, every politician is a crook. That's not true. You know, everyone, you got to watch this one. They're suspicious of everyone. They're suspicious of their mama. Somebody's trying to poison me. Now, I a little suspicious of that area. We had a person, Sister Ann Johnson used to sample my stuff around here. And the reason why I had that, and you know where I got that from, but the switch is off. I got that because my aunt was poisoned when I was 9 years old, and she left and went to Louisville, Kentucky, and my uncle took her, and they went, they went down that Thursday, Friday night she was dead. And for some reason, I always thought my uncle killed her, you know? But back in those days, I couldn't accuse him of a crime. But I was 9 years old. But I got the feeling, I wonder if he poisoned her. You know, they could never find who poisoned her. Because when he came back, he was happy as I don't know what. He didn't seem like he was, you know, and I was halfway. I slept. That's probably why I had a little problem with sleeping in my life, because I kept one eye open around him. You know, and I had to tell my father, when my father used to come home from hearth training, I would tell him that Negro in there. Back in those days, we didn't understand the other word. I didn't hear a lot of that, but Negro. I said, that Negro keeps bothering me. My father grabbed his behind and just told him, you mess with my son again, I am going to kill you. And I'm glad he told him that, because I couldn't hardly rest. For this day, I get the feeling that my uncle poisoned my aunt. I just got that feeling. That's my suspicion. See that? Now, I don't go around with that. Are you with me? I don't go around with it. Now, let's go on. Threats to self and others in crisis plans. We hurried up. Statements about self-harm and harming others. When you hear people talk about, that's why, one thing I did one thing I liked about Dr. Thomas, he would always ask you when you come in the office, are you suicidal or homicidal? I like that. He wanted to know because that your treatment plan was going to be different. You know, are you suicidal or homicidal? Here's one, 20. We're almost social and financial stresses. Acute stress from jobs and debt and all that can, you can be relieved from all that stuff. So we're going to show you today how to get help. History of cruelty to animals. It's really interesting, early behavior red flags. We had a guy, and I wouldn't call his name because you wouldn't know him. In the ministry, I was connected to a ministry. Listen to this, where one of the elders actually went off, and guess what they did? They killed 8 of their puppies. This guy, he was an elder. And he didn't go to jail. He chopped their heads off. He was so angry. He literally chopped, and after that, because he was providing, when they would come up from a certain area of the state, in the United States, they would come up here and minister to me. After he killed them puppies, I really had a problem with him kind of giving me counseling. No, you did. There are people that kill dogs and just kill animals, you all. That is a sign. There are children that kill animals. That's a sign of untreated childhood trauma. Let's keep going. And quick, entitlement mindset. Next one, repeated non-compliance with society, ignoring safety protocols or boundaries, indicating disregard for others' well-being. Y'all ever met people like that? Next one, fascination. There are people that has fascination with violence. They have fascination. Look at this. Fascination with obsessive interest in violent content. Now, I don't like all of that. They got these movies that come on, my beloved Ann, that come on Dateline. It's not Dateline, but they come on later at night, and they doing all this killing. Something's wrong with you people that's watching their movies. It's very popular. After news go off, they have these stories where all these people, and he's a black guy, one of them, and they talk about all of these murderers. Why y'all watch that stuff? Why are you fascinated with that? And if you watch somebody like that, don't date nobody that ask them about those kind of movies. Don't date them, don't marry them. They get really, is any of y'all watching that stuff? So I can kind of keep an eye on you. Yeah, but they're fascinated with violence. They got those movies. People love that stuff. Who killed who? Who killed somebody's mama? And whose girlfriend was choked to death. I try not to watch Fatal Attraction and all that stuff. Let's go on. Here it is. Unpredictability, sudden random shifts in your behavior. Somebody's got a random shift. Let's go on. And, Coach, you see a lot of this. Coach Dan Ray in the police department, he sees a lot of that stuff. Is that right? What are the root causes of violence? We got to get to the last 25 so we can get some healing. What are some of the root causes of all this violence, you all? And this is scientific. I didn't make this up. This is research. Here's a neurological dysregulation. I don't want to be too technical. Amygdala, prefrontal cortex imbalance. This is stuff that's going on in your brain that is out of balance. Stuff going on in your brain that is out of balance. And that's why people go into fight, flight, resistance, and hiding things. Let's go on. Let's move on. Hormonal imbalance. What causes all this violence? Hormonal imbalance with your serotonin and dopamine. Take a look at that. when your serotonin, when people are not able to sleep and relax, when they're not able to sleep and relax, many times it affects their serotonin, and then dopamine, being uplifted, being excited. Now, I don't want to get too far off on this, but I will show y'all that will help you with a lot of depression. I'm not a doctor. Go to your doctor. But here's some things that you really need to, let's go back here just quickly. Now I'm going to rush through these. I want y'all to see this real quick. Okay. I was trying to find it. Which number am I on? Neurological. Oh, I want to tell y'all something about this. That's good. I want y'all to listen to this. Hormonally, let me tell y'all something. You can correct a lot of anxiety and depression by doing a few things. Getting a hormonal blood test. Let me tell you this. If you're, as a man, I was with a young man yesterday. Won't tell you who it is, but I was a young man, and he told me what his testosterone level was. And he's only like 37. He says it's not 391. And I said, man, you can't have that. You're going to have low T. You're going to end up having cardiovascular problems, neurological problems, and all that. So you got to get your testosterone up. If a woman has very low estrogen, guess what's going to happen? It's going to throw you off hormonally and can cause you to end up having depression. So you need to go and get your blood test, and then you need to do some research with some matter of fact, I would go out to the place where I go, the Integrative Hospital by Christ Hospital, next to Jewish Hospital out in Kenwood, and I would let them put you a plan together on hormones. And then let me tell you what else will help you with depression. I'm not a doctor. Go see vitamin D. If your vitamin D is low, your magnesium is low, all of that stuff will affect your cortisol and all that other stuff. So you got to get hormonal to make sure your anxiety and your anger is not being triggered by fight, flight, hiding, or resisting. And while your brain is acting up, your serotonin, your dopamine, is because you don't have enough and corrected vitamins. Let's go on. Chronic stress, here's some of the reasons. Early adversity and trauma can trigger violence. Substance use, mental health disorders, intellectual development, the frontal lobe of your brain, sleep deprivation, that can make you irritable, create a lot of problems for you. What causes violence? Pain and discomfort. Economic inequality. People use that as an excuse. Scarcity. I don't have enough, so they try to hurt other people. Social learning and modeling. Violence. Peer pressure. What are some of the things that trigger violence? Threats, humiliation, cognitive distortions, entitlements. What are some of the other stuff? Attachment insecurity. Insecure attachment patterns can lead to difficulties. Let's go on. Gender socialization, social norms, people feeling locked out, community violence, living in a high violence neighborhood. But you don't have to live in a high violence neighborhood. I know people that live in wealthy neighborhoods around town here, and family members are very violent. Matter of fact, it never really gets reported. Are you all aware there are more wealthy people, middle-class people, that are involved in violence than actually more than poor folk, because they got different levels of violence. And I see some of my beloved people are here today. Edith Thrower, my beloved. Molly Thompson, my beloved. Molly Thompson, my beloved. Kimberly Grace, my beloved. Shades of you, our. We thank you all for being here. We're going to get to the solution here real quick now. We're going to move quickly. Community violence. What causes access to weapons? There are some people that just don't need a gun. I got a family member. They don't need them. I said, you know, I love you. You just don't need you don't need it. How many you got? She says, you got 2. You know. And, wow. So God bless you. Access to weapons. Economic and educational disparities. People use that. Substance accessibility. Criminal justice interactions and stigmatization. You know. Cultural norms, historical trauma. Health disparities. When people don't feel good, they feel like, hey, why should I live? There are people that become violent. And isn't it interesting, though, that most of the sick people, most of them that you see, most of them, many of them are very angry and very upset. You know? So if you're serving somebody and you're a caregiver for a person that is kind and nice, it is rare. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? It is very rare. Let me see, 25. Environmental stressors, crowding, noise. Matter of fact, I got some friends that caregivers for others, and sometimes the people you're serving, they're mean and nasty. You know, just mean and nasty, you all. And even in the health fields, just unfortunate, a lot of folk that work in the nursing homes, a lot of the nurses, not nurses as much, but some of the caregivers, some of the systems, they mistreat patients because many of them also suffer from violence, and then you definitely shouldn't be in nobody's nursing home. Okay. Now let's spend a little time on this. Can we spend about 15 minutes on this, everybody, and get us a little healing? Healing violence in your heart. That's really what we're trying to get at right now. Healing violence in our heart. If it's too cold, let me know, y'all, because I think I turned it up. Are you okay? You okay, my beloved? You okay? Healing violence in your heart. Is everybody ready now? Number 1, we got to seek God's safe presence. Is everybody with me on that? We have to focus on some scriptures. Here's some things that you could do. By the way, you can get this ebook and go through the scriptures I gave. Focus on the scriptures that speaks of God as our refuge. And I even gave you some scriptures. Create a simple daily rhythm. So first of all, we got to go and seek God's presence. It's okay to go to the Lord and say, Lord, I'm just angry. I'm upset. I feel violent. I feel out of control. And I seek your presence. Number 2, what else can we do to bring about our healing? And turn off the fight, hiding stuff in life, resisting stuff. You got to name the pain. Once you say, I'm going to name the pain. Say it again, I'm going to name the pain. Just name what's bothering you. Name it. Maybe somebody hurt you. Maybe it's guilt. You don't know what it is. Just name the pain. Just name it if you can. Number 2, to get you healing, bring it to Jesus in prayer. Express your wounds. He knows. Ask for softening of hard places. Ask for restoration. Just ask for restoration. Lord, it's me. I'm here again. Charlie Winburn is back again. I feel anxious. I have anxiety and I don't know why. I feel explosive and I really just don't know why. So I'm bringing it to the altar right now and I'm asking you to help me. How do we get our brains right? I'm a living witness, you all. When I was at the University of Cincinnati, and I never forget when I was smoking herb at the time, and it didn't do me well at all. I don't smoke herb. I don't do all. It didn't help me at all, and it really caused me some psychosis. I wasn't diagnosed. I should have been. And as I told the story to you all, I asked the counselor at the University of Cincinnati to give me some medication, and she wouldn't do it. Dr. Evangeline Norton wouldn't give me anything. But the dope that I smoked, they said they probably put some LSD in it or window pane. Was it window pane LSD back in those days? LSD. But I was off, you all. And I'm going to be honest. I was a freak. I was a freak. But I looked normal, but I knew I was crazy. Oh, you all here with me? And so, but guess what I had to do? I had to do this. Number 3, I had to take it to Jesus. Are you all here with me? And I can honestly say to this day, I'm 100% totally healed and free. What else can we do to get our healing so we won't be violent? Practice forgiveness where possible. People that have hurt us, you've got to let them go. Don't it? If you don't, you're going to be the one that suffers from it. It's going to mess you up with oxidative stress, and you're going to die early. It's going to increase your inflammation. You're going to die early. It's going to increase your cortisol. You're going to die early. It's going to throw your testosterone off, your estrogen off. You're going to be emotionally unhappy. You've got to forgive folk. You say, well, I'm going to forgive them, but I'm going to stay away from them. You haven't forgiven them. Here's how you know you've forgiven them. You were able to go around them. Not that you got to be running buddies with them. You got, in order to bring your healing, because a lot of violent people, you all, have been hurt by other people. People have cheated on you. You've been in a relationship, somebody cheated on you and you wanted to kill them. Somebody did this to you. They had babies on you. They did all this stuff. Whatever it is, you got to let that stuff go. Are y'all here with me? So if you want to be emotionally happy, what is emotional happiness? It's walking in love. It's walking in joy and peace every 60 seconds of the day. That's what it is. You can't afford to hold on to unforgiveness. So practice it. Come on. Seek safe, supportive community. Are you too cold? Okay. Is this your, okay. Are you okay? Oh, no, I'm fine. We're okay. Oh, no, we're okay. We just, I got them all in here. This is good. It'll be good. I'll push it back. That's good. Come on. You know it's going to be 81 out there today. I got to get y'all ready. So let's go on. My beloved Edith Thor, she's watching us today. We got to seek safe, supportive community. You ought to be able to talk to someone that you trust and then that you can lay your heart out on. Guard your heart with boundaries. Establish healthy boundaries to protect yourself to be re-traumatized. Now, I'm going to look at this one real quick. We're going to close here. I want y'all to look at this one. You got to guard your heart. Say you're dating someone, and you're dating with the intent to marry. Say you are fellowshipping someone with the intent to marry. Say you're going to engage someone, get engaged to someone with the intent to marry them. Listen, you should establish boundaries in the relationship so that you won't become violent in the relationship. Here's some of the things. One of the things, I'm telling you, nobody wants to be in a relationship with somebody that's cheating on them. Is everybody with me? Are you okay on that? Nobody. Even the cheaters don't want nobody. They don't want their wife cheating on them. They'll cheat, but they don't want nobody cheating. But what you got to do is establish healthy boundaries up front in your relationship to protect yourself that you don't get re-traumatized. And then that's why it's important that whoever you go to marry or be involved with, you got to know about their spiritual health, their mental health, their physical health, you got to know about them. You got to know if they resolve their trauma so that you won't be traumatized. You may be doing fine, my beloved Kim, but you end up marrying somebody that will re-traumatize you. So if you do not take time in your dating, in your fellowship, in your engagement, you're going to end up marrying somebody you're going to regret marrying. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with marriage at all. Marriage is honorable. It is a wonderful thing to do. It is wonderful. But if you marry the wrong person, your life is going. Now, you could be happy, but your marriage is going to be miserable. You may be happy, but your marriage is going to be a mess. So you got to do this. You got to guard your heart with boundaries. Take the time before you marry, before you get too far out there. Take your time. And if the person wants to walk away, then you're going to tell them to walk away, because they may have a switch in their head that says flight anyway. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? They may have a flight switch. Is this good, you all? So whoever you're dating, guard your heart. So when you get in the next relationship, don't be so fast. You just set some boundaries. And both of you all should want those boundaries. Oh, I was telling someone the other day, listen to this. Are you all aware of this? There's always going to be somebody better than your husband or your wife. So you might as well learn how to live with what you got. So I'm dating this girl. She's fine as this. But you know what? I seen the other girl, and you get the other girl. She's fine. Then you're going to want somebody else. There's always somebody better looking than your wife, better looking than your husband. Now, not including me, but you, y'all understand what I'm saying. But there's always somebody better. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Or if I get Charlie Winburn, he's great, he's wonderful. But you know what? Soon you get me, there's somebody better than me. And then you get that other person, somebody better than him. And then they look at you and say, there's somebody better than you. So it never stops. So that's why you ought to find somebody that you can enjoy and go to the zoo with and enjoy life, and you got boundaries, because there's always going to be somebody better. If you go to the zoo with somebody, I'm going to the zoo with my fiance, you're going to look around and say, oh, there's a fine sister there. But you know what? You get that. Oh, I was telling a friend of mine, actually yesterday, I know a brother, he died. He's not living. Good brother. I loved this brother. I really loved him. And his wife was fine. I looked at her. I told him, I said, your wife is fine, man. I said, she light-skinned and she got green eyes. And he said, Winburn, you can have her if you like, because she's of the devil. And I said, man, don't talk about that pretty woman like that. He said, you can have her. And guess what? He divorced her. He got rid of her. But she was fine. You see, what I thought was fine that looked better than my wife, you see what I'm saying? So you can get somebody else that's got all this glitter. There's always going to be somebody. You got to get to the place in life that you are satisfied with the person that you're with. Why did I get off on all that? Let's go on. Okay, learn and apply coping skills. We're going to wrap up now. Breathing. I do a lot of breathing, ground exercise. Oh, by the way, I want to tell women and men, quickest way to get up your testosterone and keep your estrogen going, just a couple things that you can just really, really do. Of course, vitamin D, use all that stuff. But guess what? Exercise, exercise, exercise. Exercise 7 days a week. Do strength building, all of that stuff. Walk, all of that stuff. Smile. Oh, and the big one, let me tell you, a big one, laughter. It's huge. The Bible even supports that. So there's some things you could do to keep your estrogen up, keep your testosterone up, to keep your life up until you get all your blood work. And once you get your blood work, then you can use also some vitamins and herbs and all that. Now let's go on. Replace lies with truth. I'm worthless. Stop saying all that. I am to blame. Stop all that. All the people that's left me in life, I'm not blaming myself for that. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? They had a switch in their head that says flight on. They gone. You know, and y'all got to understand, you're with people that leave you, and then you turn around and take the blame for it. No, give them the gift of goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. And I told you already, you should find out how many, if you're going to date somebody with intent to marry, you should at least ask them how many people in a romantic relationship on dating, let's talk about dating, friendship, that's in the friendship, with the intent to engage, with the intent to marry, How many relationships did you leave? Well, I left them because I didn't like them. I left them. I will tell you this. If somebody has left the relationship of more than 5 to 10 people, you may be the 11th. Did y'all get it? Because if they're leaving that many people, so now what, can you turn that around? Yes, by making sure you take that person to get clinical psychology, get help, and make sure that their flight trigger is turned off, switch. Because if the switch is turned off, how many of you know they're going to leave you? They're going to leave you. I had just a friend of mine just told me not long ago. I didn't know. He said, when I got married again, and I got divorced in 9 months. Oh, it was that quick. It was gone. And you know what? Both of them probably had this switch in their head of ending the relationship. I'm looking at those who ended the relationship. That's who I'm talking about right now. Now, we're not talking about those who's been abusive. If somebody's abusive and trying to kill you, choke you, that is totally different. You don't need to be with them. That's violence. I don't support that. But if you walked away from the relationship because their teeth was green, that ain't a good reason. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? Is everybody still with me? Why are y'all laughing? You know, so you got to understand, why did you leave them? Because how many of y'all know everything is not going to be right with the person you're going to choose? I don't care how beautiful they are. I don't care how cute they are, you all. Did y'all hear what I'm saying? And I've seen a lot of cuties, but I didn't marry them. And think about it. You can't marry everybody that's cute. Did y'all? Oh, he handsome. Oh, you all here with me? Oh, he's got muscles. Wimburn don't have muscles. But I like this other guy. You got the muscles. Now the guy that you got muscles, he got bad breath. Are you with me? Well, let's go on. We got to wrap up. This is wrap-up time. What are some things you could do to keep yourself from being violent and enjoying life and have an abundant life? Embrace the Psalms. Here's Psalms. I gave those. Get the ebook. All that is in the ebook. Look at those Psalms in the ebook. Practice experiential mercy toward others. You got to learn how to have mercy toward other people, you all. Mistreating people. You can't do that. You can't mistreat. You shouldn't be mistreating folk. I don't care how dirty they were to you. You got to treat yourself with the kindness you would offer friends in pain. You got to be gentle. You got to have care for other people. Next one, engage in restorative acts of service. Serve others in small, sustainable ways. Acts of mercy can heal wounds. Just serve other people. Just do some small things to serve others. All of that will help lift you, cause you to have more emotional happiness. Here's one, seek professional healing when needed. I still believe in EMDR and all this training, clinical psychologists working with people who specializes in this. Come on, 13, practice confession and accountability. If appropriate, share the burdens with a trusted spiritual mentor. Honesty. Hey, I did this. See, but if you got this hiding switch that's on, you know, this hiding trigger, if you're hiding stuff in life, do you not know there's people that's hiding stuff in their personal life and they're in relationships with others, they're married to other people, and they're really not totally happy because they got some stuff that they never told nobody, and that's what's holding them up? I tell everybody, write a book on your worst crime, your worst pain, your worst situation. I used to be ashamed about, because I was in foster homes, I was ashamed of all that, you know, and come to find out in 1992, 93, we hired someone from Philadelphia. My TV people said, look, Wimburn, what are you afraid of the most? I said, I don't want nobody to know I was in foster homes, because I just didn't like that. And said, we're going to use that in your TV ad. That's how we go. Do you not know when we put our TV ads on and I was showing that I grew up in foster homes in Cincinnati, my votes went up. I got elected on that. And I was a Republican. Are y'all with me? Now, in the Bible, the Republicans are known as the publicans. You know the publicans, the Sadducees, the Pharisees, and the publicans. The publicans were the Republicans. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Y'all didn't even laugh, but that's okay. So practice that. 14, revisit spiritual disciplines, scriptures, do meditation, do worship. You got to do it all. You got to pray. You got to jump rope. You got to treadmill. You got to do strength building, like my beloved Brenda. You got to lift weights. You got to do all kinds of stuff until you break a loose and break out. We got 5 minutes, everybody. They gave me a little extra time today, but we're through it too. So you got to break out. You got to do stuff, you all, to enjoy the balance of our lives. Let's go on. Cultivate gratitude. You got to be grateful about, just thank God, just be grateful. You know, I was talking with my tax people, our tax people yesterday, and they said, Winburn, you're going to owe a lot of money here. I said, fine, I'm going to pay it. I'm just going to pay it. Did you hear what I'm saying? What'd you say? Yeah, it's a lot of it. I'm talking about it's quite a bit. And I said, look, I'm going to pay it. Uncle Sam, I'm not going to have Uncle Sam on my back. Why should I? I said, we're going to fight it. We're going to pay it. And of course, my tax person, when she tells you stuff, it's just like, it's ugly, Winburn. I said, well, how ugly is it? It's this amount. I said, no, that ain't nothing. We're going to pay that. Did you hear me? It wasn't ugly to me, but to them it was pretty ugly. You know, we're going to pay it. Are you with me? Have gratitude. I thank God for what I got now, just for the little things. Just appreciate what people do for you, just the small stuff. Okay? All of that will lift you. Increase your serotonin. Increase your oxytocin. Now, you know what? I have some good videos. I'm going to start sending them to you. I'm almost there. Process trauma with creative outlets. One of the things I want to share with you all, I've got some really good videos that really show about what cuddling does. Remember we talked about that? Just hugging someone. Get sex out of your head. That's the ultimate. Just get that out. But just hugging somebody, embracing someone, walking in the zoo, holding hands. Do you know what that would do for you? Just have somebody that you could talk with, a friend that you could hug. It doesn't matter. Now, in some countries, men can do that. Our country is not there. They don't do that. In some countries, some of the men look like skirts and stuff. We don't do that here. But America do a lot of hiding stuff. So I ain't going to tell you go around kissing men. But what I'm saying, when we all came up as children, as young boys, we would hug each other. Now, we didn't hold hands. Now, women, y'all could do that, and y'all get away with that. We can't do that. I can't be having Coach up here, and I'm putting my arms around Coach and rubbing his face. Y'all could do all that stuff. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with that, because guess what it does? You're touching somebody. You're recognizing them as human. You're letting them know how much you appreciate them. So don't underestimate hugging. That's why there's a cuddling business now. There's a business where people cuddle. A friend of mine told me, she said, Winburn, I'll pay you $500 an hour to cuddle you. I said, no, sister, that cuddling would turn into something else. We don't want to do that. I said, that ain't going to happen. She said, but you probably be a darn good cuddler. I said, I'm pretty sure I would. But after I get through the cuddling, that's where the problems come in. So, no, I just want y'all to know, hugging and embracing people and enjoying people and having fun, and y'all got to loosen up. It's okay. It's okay for two women to hug each other. It's okay for two men to hug each other. It's okay. Y'all, oh man, this ain't nothing gay about me. We ain't even talking about that. You off in your head somewhere. You're in another arena because you don't understand the power of hugging and embracing and touching humanity and feeling humanity and appreciating people that you love and you hug. Are you all here with me? Did y'all get it? Okay. Reframe from the narrative of safety, identity. We got to wrap up. Develop a physical healing routine. There it is. Yoga, stretching. I'm getting ready to do more stretching. I'm doing weightlifting now. I do this stuff. I'm coming into that, doing better. I build personal mercy roadmap, list practical steps you take before you're triggered. Get a counselor, practice in advance so you prepare during moments. Build a personal mercy. It says here, list practical steps you will take when triggered. Just have some steps laid out. Let's go on. 20, learn about forgiveness. We talked about that. You got to let go people. You got to restore trust. You got to learn how to trust folk. You got to learn how to trust you all. You have to start with a small, reliable steps of trust. Pray for justice and mercy to meet you. Pray for systemic peace in your life. Justice, mercy. Show other people justice. Show other people mercy. Is that pretty good, everybody? You know, don't hold people's sins against them. It's none of your business anyway. Stop sinning. Matter of fact, if you just stop sending people to hell and sicken the devil on them, that's 50% of your healing right there. By giving people mercy. Let's go on. Celebrate small wins. We're wrapping. Just small wins. Celebrate. You pay off, say you got 20 credit cards, you pay off 2. Hey, celebrate it. Small wins. They don't have to be big. Acknowledge every moment of peace and resilience. Create a simple victory log. Okay, we're there. Practice ongoing spiritual discipline. Some Bible study. Do your worship. Allow time for silence. Listening for God's voice. And enjoy the world. Get out. Walk. Go somewhere. You know, zoo is my favorite. Go to Kings Island. Go to the zoo. Go somewhere. Do something. Be happy. Be gay. Are y'all with me? Say, well, remember what you're talking about. Gay means happy. Just be happy. And then finally, extend grace outward. Oh, for the grace of God. Won't y'all say, oh, for the grace of God. As hearts heal, consider ways to advocate for others who suffer from violence. Use your experience to uplift and protect others and transforming pain into compassion. We had one of our workers here at the church was murdered about 30 days ago, and our heart goes out to one of our workers. I went to the wake, and their family, his kids came and hugged me, and he died as a result of violence of someone next door doing whatever they did, and they ambushed him and murdered him. And I think they've already found one person. They're working on the other. And my heart goes out to that family. If any of them are listening right now, we dedicate this to one of our greatest workers here at this church. And he's missed already because I'm hiring teams of people to do his job. And him and his family, may the Lord God be with all those children and be with his mother and father during this time. And if you would like to give before we leave, I think that's only here 3 easy ways to give. Here it is right now. We give you a moment, and we're going off the air. May God bless you. Have fun, you all, and laugh and laugh and laugh. My beloved Brenda, did I send you a video? Did you get that video on laughter? My beloved Ann, did you get it? Did you see it? Sister Kim, did you get the video on laughter? Did you like it? Did it bring it out? And I'm going to send y'all some on hugging, embracing, and cuddling, and all the other stuff. So if you want to give right now, God bless you. Coach Dan Ray, Coach Futel is out. We'll hear back from him next week. We want to tell you he was in a national book. It's going to be great, national honor, and we want to honor him next Sunday. And may the Lord thank you all, my beloved, and may the Lord God be with you all real good until we meet again, until next week. Blessings be upon you. Get your ebook, and your ebook should be mailed to you tomorrow. Thank you.
I am Charlie Winburn, your life coach with Renew Community Church right here in the city of Cincinnati. And I